So Redfall, one of the biggest flops of 2023, has recently had an update, and they finally added 60 FPS into the game. And guess what else they've done? Because it's only been 5 months since the game came out, they've also gone ahead and added more enemies into the map and stupid little things like that. It's taken them almost half a year to add simple things to the game. And I think we're at the stage already, I think after a couple of months, we're at the stage where it's like, I've played the game, I don't like it, or I played the game, I do like it. And I really don't think a 60 FPS option is going to make any difference to retaining a player base of any sort. And not only that, if you jump onto Steam and have a look at the Steam charts, at like certain points of the day, say it's 10 or 11 in the morning, like in the UK, every single day for I think is around the last 2 weeks, Redfall has dipped into single digit like player numbers. The game has become that dead, and it wasn't too long ago that we heard they're going to be dedicated to it, they're going to carry on releasing more stuff for it, improving the game. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, they wanted Redfall to continue for 10 years. They said something like, oh, players are going to be playing on Game Pass for 10 years and Redfall's going to be there for 10 years. So they want this to be a decade-long game, and less than half a year into it, they can't even permanently have over 10 people playing the game. It's that stupid. When you're releasing a game that comes to Game Pass, or if it's one that's just straight up costs 60, 70 quid, you're wanting it to be a good experience to retain that player base as much as you possibly can. And Redfall has done the complete opposite. It's pushed everyone away from the game because of how bad it was at launch. You need to have a good reception from the launch of the game, of any game, because first impressions are probably the most important thing, and that's what a lot of companies seem to forget. They release these games that are half-assed, have all these problems and stuff, and then they wonder where all the players have gone. If you look at Outriders, they pushed like 98% of their players away because they just didn't care enough about the game. And if I'm being completely honest, I think Redfall deserves the failure that it's gone through. They released the game in such a bad state. You could walk down a street for like nearly 10 minutes and not see a single vampire. The technical side of it was horrible. The performance was dreadful. And not only that, they tried creating a bit of story within the game, and it's all through notes that you pick up and have to read. If I wanted to read my way through a story, I'd go and buy a book. They didn't even have like fully animated cutscenes. They were like slideshow images to make up their cutscenes. And if I remember correctly, the developers were begging for, I think it was Xbox, to cancel the game. And they said, no, let's just release it. So I think it's the higher-ups, as usual, that are involved in the mess of the game. I don't think it's necessarily the developers. They probably did their best job. They tried their hardest to get out as decent of a game as they could in the time they had, which is usually the case. In like 90% of the games that come out that have big problems is usually the higher-ups. But there are the odd couple that like release and it's the developers just haven't done a good enough job. They've had plenty of time and they just haven't coded the game properly. There's issues and they haven't looked into them, or they've struggled understanding part of the code. There's loads and loads of problems in the whole of the gaming industry. But when it comes to games, it's usually the higher-ups that push for the release dates and no more delays and stuff. And then you get a result like Redfall, where it takes them 5 months to add in 60 FPS, 5 months to put more enemies on the map, and by that time your player base is gone. And on that note, we are going to leave the video there. If you enjoyed it, leaving a like is appreciated. If you wish to support me further as a creator, there are links in the description. Let me know your thoughts about the video in the comments. And if you want to watch more, you can click the video on screen. All support on the channel is greatly appreciated, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.